And with the likes of Elivode, it really helps them shine together because this roster, Lilzish and Elivode, play together with the likes of AFox too on Vivi's Adventures last year, and they placed pretty good with the 8th place finish, not too bad, had some good showings. But look at this. This is probably the sickest self-destruct of the tournament. Just big bang here coming out of Elivode, instantly shutting down the whole team of Piece of Cake. And you know what, Grav? The deadliest Reinhardt is the unseen one, as Lilzish here sets up, and at the very least, most people should know by now, check your corners.
Yeah, sneaky beaky, like to say the least. I mean, this was they got completely caught off guard, and there was nothing much they could have done after that Earth Shatter, I'd say.
And 50 seconds later, he had another one to set himself up for another team fight win, because here, finally, Piece of Cake started to fight back, get those kills, make something happen. But nope, Lilzish still had other plans in mind. Just look at this, has the Earth Shatter, bam, sit down, and just easy cleanup for them to secure another team fight somehow.
Yeah, if Angry Titan want to win today and crown themselves as the champions, they will definitely need Lilzish on this level, because when he plays like this, he creates so much space and opportunities for his DPS players to make the magic, so they will definitely need it.
And Oni got, of course, as consistent as ever with the counter grab at this point, and it's been really good to see him not only step up when it comes to the Zarya, but still really sick on the Tracer, and even on the McCree. He played it on Anubis, and to a very high degree, managing to really secure that second point with ease.
Now, as we said, it's best of 5. First team to 3 maps is going to be crowned as the champion. I believe that Angry Titans, they need to start out strong and win Nepal straight away if they want to be in this series, so to say.
Well, here's the thing. If you look at the map pool, of course, when it comes to individual play, that's where it really shines. It is on those control maps, and when Nepal being the first one to start it all off, and considering how those guys just dismantled Piece of Cake on Nepal, I think this will most likely go in favor in those guys. And if you are Angry Titans, you're going to look to pick up wins on those likes of hybrid escort maps, and of course Assault especially, since it will be Horizon, Assault, Lunar Colony later down the line. That is where Piece of Cake basically show them a step-by-step guide as to how they can really mind game them for that potential win on that map. And if we were going to see Angry Titans pick up a overall win in terms of the series, I think it's going to come down to making sure they get free wins through the Assault and Escort and hybrid maps.
Yeah, probably those guys will fix their mistakes from Horizon yesterday. I mean, they had enough time to talk about the mistakes, and if Angry Titans will try to copy Piece of Cake tactic, it might not work at this time.
It really just came down to the mind game element too, and considering the fact they could set up Urki on the likes of Farah, which seems to really make things difficult sometimes for this lineup of those guys. But who knows, if we see more quad tank overall. We've seen Craggy really perform on the likes of May. When it comes to those assault maps, he picked it up yesterday too. Wasn't quite the right gamble considering what Piece of Cake had in mind. But I really like on both ends their flexibility, really, especially with those guys when you have Kib and Craggy both flex on Roadhog, Zarya, and even Tracer.
Also, make sure to check out our giveaway. All you have to do is clip the best moment from our stream and tweet it over us at Overwatch Pit. The price is Battle.net codes, so if you want those codes, make sure to participate. The match is live. Let's go.
And not only those codes, but some sweet new skins coming up soon. But joining me here for the cast will be Hurix. Once again, how are you doing, man?
Good as always, good as always. Pumped now for the grand final. And we're starting things off right here on Nepal. Got Sanctum loaded up. These teams are already clashing now up on the high ground. Fusions versus Lilzish on the front lines. Lilzish has looked phenomenal, but so has Fusions. And I don't know, this is going to be a back and forth between these two for control, and we're just waiting to see who's going to get that first pick, and it's going to be Kib on the Junkrat, going to be able to find AFox. That's a massive pick on that support players. They're going to back him up. They're going to get control early on now on Sanctum.
Just like that, already looking really good here for those guys. I say we'll have Funny Astro on the lineup, as he seems to be the preferred player when it comes to that Lucio role, of course, over Bach, and that flexibility paying off for them overall. But the Mind is going to look to displace that Reinhardt, make things really unfortunate, but the Coalescence will be popped. in turn potentially here. However, Haviko is going to manage to find the first kill onto Lolzish, and already once again starting off strong here for those guys.
Craggy and Onigod going to be battling all throughout this series, I think. You know, we're going to be seeing a little bit of Tracer play from them. We'll probably see some Widow v Widow. I mean, we've got a best of 5, so this is going to be a lot of action packed into this. And right now we're seeing a Zarya versus Zarya between the two, both having their Graviton Surge, looking for that opportunity. Defense matrices are out. It's going to be Onigod dropping his. Urki with the follow-up Riptire. He finds Funny Astro, who already put his sound barrier out for everybody else. It's a return fire off the Graviton, now from Craggy. And it's going to be Hafikul following it up. They find the Lucios inside both Gravitons. And Kim is again popping the tire. He's getting the kills alongside Hafikul. And they again secure the fight. 62% already for those guys.
Not a single team fight lost as of yet for those guys as they look to start things off in a dominant fashion, and this is what we can really expect out of them. Their individual play is stellar. Kib once again popping off on that Junkrat. Will look to do more, but on the other side you do have quite a lot of ultimates being built up, so Angry Titans, if they take the point, it needs to be now, as it is 83%, but the move, it's gonna be bye-bye for Lolzish as he gets out of the map, and Lude now forced to use that sound barrier a little early potentially here would be bad, but the counter is gonna be good. Lucio's going ham here on both sides as Onigod is finally gonna get killed onto Kib, but they need to secure this as it is gonna go over to overtime.
Well, Crusade's under fire now in the back line. They're still holding it down. I think they will probably wind up losing it here, Brunch, but in the process, they're going to be able to steal a couple kills away. This might allow them to get a nice little entry to get back up onto the point, as they did finish off Urki. So without the threat of that Junkrat, they might be able to secure just enough spacing for themselves to get in there before he's able to make it back, as it's going to take him about 5-6 more seconds to come around that corner. But he got speed boosted by Ludi, so this might not work out for them this time around, actually.
The Gravitons are ready, though. First one is going to come out from the side of the Angry Titans, and will be picking up 2 kills for 1. Counter grab is going to go through, but not really going to find too much success. But as I say that, it will be 2 kills for the likes of those guys, too. But still, Angry Titans remaining on the point and coming out on top of this one. But a lot of ultimates still on this side of those guys' lineup. In blue, Funny Astro with that sound barrier might opt in to use it aggressively to just secure the point here and now.
Well, it's Kid with the Riptire. He's flipped a couple of fights already with the Riptire. They see it that it goes lower, but he's gonna fake them out a little bit. That's a double kill, and a big one onto Lolzish as well. Now they've got all the space in the world to get on there. Urki's gonna have to see if he can turn this around himself, but that's just, it's over already. They're gonna secure the kill onto Urki. Overtime will tick, and that will be those guys taking it 100-62 for the first round on Sanctum, moving on now to the second. But something I've noticed already is that while we've seen the Zaryas neck and neck, I mean, they even finished at 56% apiece on the Graviton Surge. They've been back and forth. They've been using them at about the same time every time. It's been Onigod being the aggressor, I would say, in the Zarya matchup, where he's dropped the Graviton first every single time, and it's given them a little bit of an advantage, I would say, because of the fact that when he catches everybody, you know, they're able to start doing some damage before the Graviton comes out, and they can secure a little bit more initial pressure onto their Graviton, and they can get ahead a little bit. You saw that in the second Graviton that went down. Onigod's team was able to win that fight because it was just a little delayed on Craggy's part.
But on the other hand, when you have Kib on that Junkrat be the aggressor, picking up those double kills time and time again off of the Riptires, it does still make things really good for you if you're those guys, as you're gonna like to go on top of the point and get another potential first pick, but it will be the hook coming through out of Hafikul. Doesn't find any kills just yet, however, as no diva for those guys. However, with Hafikul being on that Roadhog, we'll look to have quite a bit of success. This is pretty much the third player of this roster who's going to be able to pick that one up, as Craggy is going to find that first kill onto Onigod. It's going to be those guys once again getting that first cap.
So they're playing without a diva here, which, you know, typically people would see this and I would see this and I would be like, oh no! But, you know, the thing about this Roadhog is that it is going to apply some pressure to, you know, the supports. It's going to apply some pressure to Lolzis' shield. It's going to apply some pressure to Elevote because he can hook him out. and deny the defense matrix. We can see him hooking out just the way that I believe it was Kib yesterday on Hollywood, where he hooked out Lolzis' shield and they just went for a massive Earth Shatter off of it. They could do things like that here.
And we'll see if they can indeed snowball it into another teamfight win. As said, the ultimates are in their favor, but the Riptide is going to come through. Erky, can he find more targets? Can he find successful one off of it? No is the answer, as a return fire will come through. Those guys looking to have more success. Graviton is going to make things easy, picking up a double kill for this lineup. And with a 6v4, they're going to be pushing them back towards that spawn. Stagger and late kills at that too, and already 50% built up on the point.
So again, starting off early with a massive amount of control. Craggy, of course, getting a little bit ahead of Onigod this time around. But Onigod will have that ability to drop the grav in this next fight here, and we've seen him be quite aggressive when he gets these. And oh, he gets laid flat. He's going to be knocked over. Can they find the kill? They actually do not. He's very low with an opportunity now, but it'll be Funny Astro coming back to the point. They'll secure that kill, putting pressure now onto the main tank. Lolzish, he's got brought down pretty low himself. Gonna get a massive amount of heals from Afox, who might be able to get a Coalescence again in this fight. And it's just a matter of time before Onigod makes his way back. If they can sustain long enough, they might be able to get that down.
But the problem here is the fact that they're delaying this so much here. Those guys looking to push it into overtime even potentially. And yes, the kills are coming in late. The ultimates are still being built up in favor of Angry Titans, but they cannot lose a single team fight now. And that's going to be a very scary prospect.
I mean, it's a similar situation to what they had on Sanctum, right? I mean, it was the exact same thing.
Pretty
you
much.
just get to that point where you can't lose anymore, and it's so hard to be in that kind of situation, especially when the pressure's on at a grand finals matchup. So now as we get going forward, Onigod was able to hold on to that ultimate. They still have Riptire, so he's going to drop that Graviton right on the front end, and they will look to try to secure some kills here, and they do just that. Erky, Lolzish going forward, swinging away, dropping some concussive mines as well. They will be able to find those kills, so they come away with a little bit. I mean, they're a little bit closer in the score line now, but they still have about a minute. You know, they still have about a minute that they have to hold this down, which means that they have roughly 2 more fights or so that they have to try to win out completely. And as we get Craggy even closer to this Graviton, it's just going to be more and more threatening.
Oh, but Luna gets spotted out, gets saved up by the projector barrier, however, but forced to use that sound barrier maybe a little bit too early. Erky now looking for those targets, will not be successful just yet, still waits it out. Finally gets the Lucy, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Both Lucius at that, but return Riptire is going to come out of Kip, looking to have even more success for his team. And again, with the Graviton being through, it will be overall still no kills happening. Halfical though finally gets one. Number advantage in favor of those guys as they look to close it out. Kib gets the mech. Lolzish answers with a big Earth Shatter and the counter Funny Astro, but seems like it shouldn't be enough as the point will be swapped back to those guys. Overtime kicks in, nobody on the point. Now finally Avox makes it through, but it seems like it's not gonna matter. Those guys potentially opening up here with a 1-0 lead on the ball.
And now I'm wondering what everybody's deal with Funny Astro is, because every time, you know, we see them trying to go into a fight and it's in these clutch scenarios, it's always Funny Astro dying off, and now I'm wondering why everybody hates Funny Astro. Are they picking on him? Are they bullying him because he's younger than them? I mean, pick on someone your own size, man. The poor little Lucio dying off in, like, all these engagements, but nonetheless, they pull it out 2-0. And they get that early 1-0 lead, just as we saw them have yesterday. They looked phenomenal, upper bracket, you know, group stage, everything. They're going to have to continue it here. We're going to have a short break before we go into the next map. Don't go anywhere.
a convincing way for those guys to open the series. They looked really good on control, especially Kib. His star control was just insane, and those fakes, it was pleasure to watch.
Most definitely. And overall, as I said, this is where I really expect this team to shine. When it comes to those individual plays, that raw mechanical skill is where they are just without equal here right now in the European scene.
Yeah, he definitely had more impact than Erki on Junkrat, I'd say, and that kind of helped his team a lot. And also, we've seen Hafi Cool on Roadhog. He also looked great, I'd say.
It's nice to see, as again, the flexibility that this team is able to put out, just managing to put Roadhog on 3 different members, Zarya, Tracer on 2 others. Again, just so much coming out of them. It's really hard, or it's going to get even harder to really pick out, okay, what are they really going to bring in terms of the compositions, and as a result, make things really difficult for any future opponent for those guys.
Next up, we are going to England, King's Row. You said that Angry Titans have a higher chance here.
This is definitely where they need to turn things around. That they could have a higher chance because this type of map is where they looked better on. Their team play overall has been exceptional, especially considering yesterday's performance. So if they keep up that particular form, then I would say here's where they will potentially turn it around. But you gotta remember, when you look at those guys, they have 3 UK players. Maybe feeling at home will still pick up the win.
Yeah, maybe they'll feel a bit homesick, so to say. Now the match is ready. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
So starting things off here, Funny Astro was subbed out, Bach brought in. And what this is going to mean is that, you know, obviously they aren't really looking to have the Lucio in play. They want to bring something else out, and that something is an Ana. So they're going to be bringing the Ana out very early on here, going to be holding up on high ground. They don't have what might be typical with this type of pickup, you know, maybe a soldier or something like that. They're instead going to be keeping the Junkrat that is currently standard in the meta and holding onto a Moira, so they're going to have tons of healing for their front line. So definitely looking to try to allow Fusions to take Lolzish on, who's been, I mean, Lolzish himself, I think, has been the angry Titan so far this tournament.
And it seems like Erki's going to find the first kill, a huge one at that, at Bach, and with that opening pickup, it is going to make Angry Titans favorable in this engagement, but it's not over just yet, as we will see those guys still fighting back, looking for something, just any space that Hafiko and Co can really create on that point, but it's going to be 1 tick already achieved for Angry Titans. AFox is good to go with that Coalescence, but it's going to be actually Crusade using his first and going down, and oh man, Angry Titans, speaking of looking better on these maps, already looking on fire.
So now Lolzish will go forward, having won the Reinhardt duel in a big way. Of course, helped out by quite a bit by Erki, especially because they took out one of those massive healers. Bach went down quite early in that last one, but they'll have that slight advantage given their ult charge across the board, and they're backing up. They're still keeping that payload rolling. This is the Riptire coming out now from Erki. He's been known to throw these out quite early. We'll see if they can deny it or if he will find some opening picks for him, and that will not be the case. However, he does take Happy Cool out of the mech. Still though, this engagement is going to be slowed again, so they're getting that free spacing on the payload, but there's the Graviton from Craggy. They're going to go right into it. Kib connecting with it on the Riptire as well.
Well, but now Erki is going to be able to at the very least pick up 1 kill onto Bach. Fusions is going to be able to land the Earth Shatter, and that will secure the team fight for his team. And not entirely convinced that Onigod using the Graviton himself right there was necessarily the best choice, as Crusade just cleaned up house with that Coalescence as well. But at the very least, for Angry Titans, they didn't overcommit when it comes to those ultimates. They have a resource advantage, and if they can at the very least get something done in this upcoming team fight, they'll get that payload very close to the checkpoint.
Yeah, they forced 5 ults out from those guys in that last fight. Now as they go forward, they're going to have a huge advantage, as you were talking about. They already found the first kill onto Craggy, denying some of that ult charge towards the Graviton. That's massive, especially as Happy Cool is going to be taken out of his mech as well. And we will see Bach going forward, just trying to contest it for a little bit longer. But again, Angry Titans just dismantling those guys in another fight. They're going to have still more options into this next one because of that one single engagement where those guys were forced to pop 5 ults just to win the fight.
And we'll see whether or not they can secure this one as the Reptile is going to come out of Erky looking for those targets. Self-destruct will be popped though by Havoc looking for something in return. Will not be successful. Coalescence both fight both sides, but now without a Reinhardt, it's going to make things potentially very easy here for Lolzish to clean it up. Onigod gets the tire too, but the Bionade might shut them down off of the Graviton, but it's not going to be quite just so. Afox and Onigod able to pick up those final few kills. Kip trying to contest will be unsuccessful. And in the end, with 4 minutes and 40 seconds in this Foundry phase, oh man, Angry Titans remaining furious indeed.
Swap Crusade over to the Lucio as well to get that speed boost and everything earlier, and now we're going to be seeing them try to use that to their advantage in this one, where they actually nano boost fusions up. They're going to easily disengage. Lolzish slides on out of there, doesn't want any part of that. That's a smart move to get away from a nano boosted Reinhardt, and going right up into the sky there. Fusions lays them all down as Lolzish was nowhere near the ground. They will back them all up, find that late kill, onto Lolzish. Now 4 minutes off the board, 4 minutes to go. Angry Titans certainly. What did he do? I missed it. What happened?
He maybe died to the Junkrat passive. It's irrelevant now. Nobody saw it as said.
Unlucky. Yeah.
But Kip, going in with this Riptide potentially in the team fight could once again stall things out, but Coalescence will be the answer. Will be used aggressively here to look for anything in terms of be it a kill or that Riptide. However, it's not going to be successful. Lolzish is going to go down. Graviton used by Craggy, and we'll see if any other staggered kills will come through. One onto Lude. They're going to be looking for more, but quite a bit of use in terms of those resources. So overall, this should be good for Angry Titans moving forward.
This is also, I mean, this is a decent situation to be in if you're Bach, because they don't have anybody really. Oh, what a sleep dart from Bach, shutting down Erky. They're going to have to wait on that one. But he's been phenomenal so far, I'd say, and he has all the spacing to do his job. Because he's on this Ana and there's nobody that can come over for him, he's going to get tons of nanos to fusions to help out that frontline fight. Graviton comes in, there's the tire to follow, but somehow Kid finds a kill with the concussive mine. And now they're going to send the self-destruct over. Not going to find anything off of that. Sound Barrier going to wear down as well for those guys as they're looking to re-engage here. Craggy, of course, has that Graviton Surge. They're going to wait to see if they can find an opportunity. He doesn't want it to get gobbled up by Elevote.
That was a big pickup though by Kip, managing to shut down the tire right before it connects on all those juicy targets caught in the Graviton. So we'll see whether or not still gonna be overall Angry Titans coming out on top, as they will go ahead and use that sound barrier, look for something, but the Earth Shatter will be used by Fusions. Graviton once again available for Craggy this time, as they will be able to find the kills and they will be able to clean it up, and time's ticking away. 2 minutes now left for this push.
Wasn't Craggy's best Graviton Surge, but it helped them get the job done, so I guess that's what's important. But now we're seeing a swap. Erky, he's made a little bit of an adjustment off of the Junkrat and now over to the Roadhog. Again, a nano boost on the Fusions. They're just going to be forced to just disengage, try to kite away from this other Angry Titan, I guess, that is Fusions. And now we'll see them looking to re-engage now, putting pressure onto that barrier field, trying to take Fusions back, send him to try to find an opening now. And it'll be Lolzish going forward. Kib finding the first kill onto Onigod.
Happy aided again, I believe, that Graviton, but it's a 2 for 2, as Happy will be able to pick up Lolzish in the end. And as said, man, the Fick Diva for him, as the Bionade is going to connect on quite a lot of targets, and that by itself should push the opposition away. Craggy good to go with another Graviton, and considering all the ultimates being built up in favor of those guys, it should be another team fight to win, and with 47s left on the clock, things are not looking good for Angry Titans here.
All these very fortunate divas just saving team fights for their squad, and now we're going to look at the aggression. Lolzish looking for an opportunity to try to take advantage of Fusions if he can. Earth Shatter at the ready. Fusions almost has one of his own. Now he's got the nano boost behind him as well, looking very aggressive, going to lay down Apox, and Lolzish not going to be able to land his charge. He'll get ripped down. 20 seconds left on the clock here, Brunge, as now those guys look poised to take this and make a defense before the third objective.
13 seconds left. Graviton is at the ready. Craggy's gonna go in for a sneaky position, and I just can't see how anyone will be allowed to go on the point, especially since the sleep dart connects. But Lude and Ellie will find their way. However, it's gonna be Lude pick up a kill somehow. So is it still gonna be enough, as nobody's able to get on the point just yet? But finally, Erky gets to do just so. Kib instantly picks it up, and Luzish, hit by the Bion, is gonna make things very easy here for Kib to pick up a triple kill. Now on that Junkrat, Bach picks up one more of his own, and it will be, in the end, those guys defending throughout the Foundry phase, but still really well fought overall by Angry Titans.
It actually was a pretty solid Graviton. It didn't really catch, you know, too many people initially, especially, but what it did was it kind of created this zone where nobody could pass through it, and as we saw the defensive side of those guys just kind of charging around it, putting pressure on it, extending back to try to put pressure onto the Moira, who faded out of it. You know, nobody was able to go over there. We saw Lolzish get pulled back into it as well for just a moment, and it really just helped them kind of control the field after really kind of stringing them out because of that. You know, they had to be aggressive. They had to get onto the objective to pop it into overtime, and then they had to come back to try to help out their teammates. It was a good way to section off the rest of the team and able to clean that up very easily on the front end. Kib on the Junkrat, of course. Now they're going to be looking to attack. We'll have to see what they want to bring out for their healers, because that's my main question. That's what I'm looking for. What is Bot going to play? Are they going to play the Lucio Moira setup? Are they going to play instead, you know, a Zen setup? Or are they going to actually bring out the Ana? Kib right now is on a Pharah, which means even more possibilities. You know, it could be a situation where if they want to bring out the Pharah, they bring out the Mercy along with it. So support play-wise, this could be something interesting to look for those guys.
But I do have to say, overall, compared to Funny Astro, Crusades Lucio, not as impressive as just yet, but we'll see whether or not Kib will be sticking to that tank himself, if it's going to be a tank choice for him, because I don't expect him to really stay on the Widowmakers. Just going to use it to scout out the opposition for now, and it's going to come down to whether or not, in my eyes, Erky can really also keep stepping it up, because Kib overall, when it comes to those Junkrat deals and just on that Junkrat in general, he did seem like to be the superior one so far, and it will be the Pharah. So interesting choice here. No Mercy inside, of course, but Bach should be able to help him stay alive in the sky.
Yeah, he's really prioritizing that. So Crusade is going to prioritize all these tanks, keep them up. Bach will be able to help that out a little bit, but anytime Kibs takes a little bit of pressure, you'll definitely see Bach flick back up and help him out as well. But they're going to go for a slow-paced engagement from Kib, but the tank's just kind of leading the charge, and they're doing a fantastic job at just that. Kib takes some pressure. He's going to be killed off by the D.Va in the sky. Bach just not going to be able to get that healing off through the blocking D.Va up there, but they'll still be able to easily secure this first point just the same way that they lost it. Still coming away pretty close to a Nano boost though.
And they will have those resources being built up in their favor, but we'll see. At the very least, Onigot still looking pretty strong on that Zarya, getting close to the Graviton, which could potentially shut down this next push on that payload. And Bach good to go with that Nano boost. I'm curious to see whether or not he's going to stick to using it on Diffusions, or if he's going to actually use it on someone like Kib this time, but Coalescence will be the choice. Graviton is going to catch a lot of players there, but it's going to be enough as the Bionade will come through. Lozish will go with the Earth Shatter, but it's not going to be enough. Those guys are going to just destroy the opposition, and excuse me, it was Fusions with the Earth Shatter to shut it down and make things easy for his team. 3 ultimates for 2, but still does have the Nano boost. They do have the Rocket Barrage good to go.
And I think they would want to use the Nano boost onto Craggy. If he can maintain this energy pool for himself, they could use it on him, give him a lot more damage. He could get aggressive with it behind Fusions. I mean, it could go to either of them now, and then it could just use it to try to farm up some more ult charge for themselves. And I guess the question would be, who do you want more, the Graviton, or do you want the extra little damage reduction onto Fusions? And it's going to be answered quickly. Fusions is going to be getting it. He's going to be laid down, but he's going to not take too much pressure, obviously, because of that extra damage reduction. Charges into Lolzish, gets him down pretty low, but it's still looking like it's going to be Angry Titans winning the fight. Fusions, though, coming away with all the ult charge in the world. He will be able to have that Earth Shatter into the next one.
And another sleep dart connecting this time around onto another member of Angry Titans, but they will have both support ultimates up and available. So if they space them out, use them effectively, it could potentially shut down another push. Of course, when it comes to those respawns, a lot of distance they need to cover on both sides. Kip will be sticking to the Pharah, so it's gonna make life maybe a little bit more difficult for Urki, but Avox gonna open things up with the Coalescence, look to enable Lozich for a charge, but Ear of Shatter is gonna lay them flat on the ground. Soundbarrier was available at the very least since Lude was not quite caught by it, but now Lozich in big trouble, bounced around. It will be Elivote still finding that target in the sky. Fusions under a lot of pressure will go down 2 for 1. A lot of ultimates used on both sides, but maybe, just maybe, Angry Titans can pick up another team fight win here.
They make the stop now, and every little bit counts. Every little bit matters because they did not get through to that third objective. They made it about halfway, so taking time off now is very important because, you know, it's a long respawn, so it's going to be favoring them. It's going to give them more time off as they take these team fights. But now coming into the next one, it's going to be Urki popping out the Rip Tire. Onigod throwing out the grab as well. It's right on top of it. They find the kill onto Bach. They secure the kill onto Fusions right after. On the side, not even in the Graviton, but he got sectioned off himself. So as it's a 6v4 advantage now for Angry Titans, they're going to be forced to pull away. Craggy coming away with all of his energy pool and having the Graviton ready as well. Now it's just about securing these kills and finally moving this payload forward.
As Kev did also make the swap over to the Junkrat. Graviton is actually going to connect on most of them, but is it going to be enough as the follow-up is not quite there just yet? Coalescence will keep Craggy alive for now. Avox still looking to regroup with the Steam Self-Destruct. He's gonna force Fusions to really waste his time, even though he had that nano boost on top, unable to go forth, but it's still going to be those guys fighting it out, looking to create some space on this payload. As Craggy already at 40%, but Onigod will look to answer. Self-destruct used by Havigal. Can he find this target? Fusions gets a good grab, but the sound barrier was available. And now Elivo dropped really, really low. Will manage to stay in that mech, which is really, really good. But Craggy gets the D-suit as well as Steve Junkrat, and another Graviton charged up by him. Makes it easy for his team to win out once again.
So they should be able to easily secure this second objective, but they've been whittled down by Angry Titans, and in the process, we're seeing that both control ults from Angry Titans ready to go. Onigod and Lolzish have charged those up. Urki with the Rip Tire, they were able to do a lot with those two last time, and now we'll see if they can repeat that process, or somehow in the next 2.5 minutes or so, we'll be able to see those guys pull it through.
And now the Graviton will be used, however, is the follow-up going to be there? The Bionade is actually going to push Lolzish in a really tough spot. He might go down. It is going to be Lolzish going down. And this is not what you're looking for if you're Angry Titans. 2 kills already in favor of those guys as Crusades picks up a double kill off the Bloodthirsty, supported with so much time. Such a big advantage. It should be those guys with another win here on King's Row.
What a way to start things off in the finals. Remember, it's a best of 5, so now it's sitting 2-0. As it looks very good for those guys. They have looked dominant so far. They look dominant throughout the tournament. I mean, if they wind up taking this third map coming up, what a way to finish out. What a way to close out what was already a fantastic showing from them.
Ooh, that Earth Shatter, though, by Fusions. And we will be moving on to a short break, but don't go anywhere. You definitely don't want to miss out on the next map.
Welcome back at the analysis desk. Another great performance by those guys. Their defense on the third point was stellar. For me personally, the key point of this match was when Kib on defense denied the Riptide of Herky while his team was in Graviton Surge. That kind of saved all of them, to be honest.
It just threw a wrench in their works, and once they did get stopped on that Foundry phase, it seems like they were unable to find any space to really push the payload further. And even though if they managed to get said kill, as you said, in that Graviton, it wasn't quite sure they would push it all the way through, but yes, definitely seems to be the key point where things got better and better for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, they would definitely be in a better position, so to say, as they escorted only on half. So it was very hard for them to win after they lost the first point in attack that quick. They did have a decent defense on the second point, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Now we will go to Horizon Lunar Colony, and we've seen those guys can actually bleed there.
And again, considering yesterday's performance and what Piece of Cake brought to the table, I would like to see Angry Titans potentially use those mind games to their advantage once again, which comps they're going to pick when it comes to their offensive round in particular. But looking at those guys, looking at how flexible they are, how seemingly quick they are to adapt, at least from a day-by-day basis, I would expect them to still be a really tough opponent here.
Do you think we might see a clean sweep, 3-0?
As much as I would like it to go to another map, at least it might happen. Might happen.
There is a good chance considering how well those guys are playing. Now, composition-wise, do you think, as you said, they have to copy Piece of Cake from yesterday, or maybe some other creative way?
It's not necessarily copy exactly what they went for, but just use that flexibility when it comes to setting up Urki potentially on a Pharah, maybe to displace the opposition, or just throw a wrench in their works if they have or they expect a tanky lineup.
Match is ready. Hurix and Brunch, take it away.
Bach right now defensively on the Ana again. They brought him in pretty much just to play the Ana here, it looks like, as Crusade has swapped over to the Zenyatta, and they're going with this same kind of setup. We've seen this, I think yesterday might have been the first time we saw it in this tournament, but maybe the day before that, where of course they're going to be trying to create a little bit of space for themselves, going with the 2-tank strat, Happy on the Diva, Fusions on the Reinhardt, holding up top now both sides of the high grounds, where they're just going to be kind of pestering a little bit before they drop down and contest.
Well, and AFOX already forced to use that fake. Craggy contesting him on that trace. Oh. Kib once again picking up the first kill. Has just been such a key player here for those guys on that Junkrat, especially, as just like that, the remain healer is out of the question here. Angry Titans, you will be forced to regroup in a tough spot now as Kib picks up a double kill. And with the staggered kills at that, it's not looking good for Angry Titans.
Because they get that space so early on in these engagements, their healers literally just get to play target practice. That's all they're doing. They're not having to avoid anything. They're just basically just trying to hit their shots, and that's pretty much it. So that's good news now for those guys. But starting into these next couple of fights, Angry Titans is going to have to turn on the heat, press down the gas pedal, do something different, because so far it just hasn't worked. Lolzish has not been able to have the same performance so far. He's been denied to a large degree, and especially because the nano boost onto Fusions has really kind of slowed him down. He can't take those fights as well anymore.
And he is gonna go ahead and go for a nap, as Bach again connecting with the sleep darts is gonna stop this push, at the very least halted for a while. We'll see Craggy laying off onto the side. Kib is going to be able to pop that Riptide, but can he find the targets? Onigod finds the first kill of that engage. Tranquility will be forced. AFOX, again, the one to go down, and with that lack of healing, it will make things really difficult here because of that staying power for Angry Titans. And as a result, we will see the rest of those guys fighting back, looking to secure even more kills.
I mean, they just didn't have the kill power. They didn't have the lethality to back themselves back in, or sorry, move themselves back into it. They didn't want to back at all, but that's what they did. And Onigod going to sleep and also going for a little bit of a leap there as well, getting up to the high ground. He'll be woken up by a quick grenade there, but they're going to look to re-engage. And that should have been, I mean, that really should have been their fight. They just, again, they didn't have the lethality to secure some kills, especially one onto Craggy's Tracer, which they really needed to find to be able to get back onto that point. And these sleep darts have been insane from Bach so far.
Connecting seemingly every time he sends them out, as we'll see only got still quite far away from that Graviton on the other side. So many ultimates being built up. Kip is able to use that Riptide, could potentially shut it down. Self-destruct will be used as well as the Sound Barrier, so we'll see the Fade being forced out. And now during the coalesce, it's not gonna matter. Kip again, another double kill off of the Riptide. Crusade picks up Lolzish. Fusion still swinging away on the point. Craggy alive. Elivot is gonna find one kill onto Kip, but now that he will be desuited, going ahead using that self-destruct is not gonna be too successful. One tick achieved at the very least for Angry Titans, but with 60 seconds remaining, only Earth Shatter available, maybe that Graviton. This is not looking good for them. This is looking disastrous right now.
They really need to deal with this Tracer. Craggy has been on cleanup duty throughout, and if they can't shut him down, they're going to have to keep dealing with this. They were able to deal with Bach, but that just wasn't the answer. And now going into this next fight, Transcendence is ready, Fusions is ready with the laydown of the Earth Shatter, and Onigod has to get a massive Graviton here if they want to secure this finally. With 28 seconds left to go, there it goes. Bach is inside it. There's the Transcendence as well.
And no waterfall for now. However, the Earth Shatter is going to connect on one. It's not going to be enough as Havicole picks up a kill with a return of Shatter. Now will potentially get Urki down as well. Coalescence will keep him safe for a while. Fusions dropping low. Finally going to go down, but still 7 seconds left. Kills in favor of Blue as those guys are looking to clean it up and secure a quick Frio sweep potentially as Kip picks up another one onto Urki. Overtime is gonna go through, and oh man, those guys are just unstoppable on another level right now.
I have a tweet to delete, man. I have a tweet I have to delete. Don't let Gravity see what's happening, man. Don't let him. But it looks, I mean, this looks like it's all but over. I mean, Angry Titans have been stifled completely, and the Angry Titan himself, Lolzish, has just not been able to get it done, especially when you consider Crusade and Bach. I mean, it seems like they've really just kind of downloaded this team. They went up and watched this team and they're now able to figure out what kind of things make them work. What makes them tick? What really enables this roster to have the performances that we saw, especially yesterday. And something that we noticed ourselves was the fact that, you know, their supports are especially, I would say, Ludi is a little bit more aggressive. And then you see, you know, when Lolzish is able to, you know, create that space, have insane performances where he's very aggressive himself, creating a lot of opportunities for his team, getting a lot of kills himself with really pinpoint charges. They say, you know what? Let's just straight up deny that. Let's go for a Zenyatta. Let's discord him up as soon as he comes up. Just discord him instantly. Now we already have that slight advantage. Then let's bring in the Ana. Let's biotic grenade him. He can't get healed anymore, so now he has to shield. So now we have that extra little bit of opportunity for Fusions to just get some free swings in. And then on top of that, we have the nano boost. So anytime we see a fight where we don't look like we're going to be able to win it straight up between Lolzish and Fusions, just nano boost him up. That's an easy win. So, I mean, they really have, through those kind of things, just with their support play, kind of denied this tank-centric aggression that comes primarily from Lolzish and then, of course, enabled by Elevote in such a large way that they were able to deny the entire first objective. And this, I mean, like I said, it looks over already.
And it's really surprising to me to see Angry Titans just go for that tank lineup, but it seems to be exactly what those guys expected yesterday and really focused to play around. And as a result now that we will see those guys on the attack, it's they get a pick and that might just be it right here, right there. But we'll see at the very least a little bit of a pushback coming out of Urki, who's gonna look to charge up that Rift Tire, and we've seen before from the likes of Kip getting those double kills as to how detrimental that can be. But already it's gonna be a good hook onto Lolzish, secures the first kill, 6v5, and can they still secure the whole thing?
Well, Riptire's going out. They only find a little bit of damage onto Craggy, and that is it. Bach now going forward with the Coalescence, keeping everybody alive, also putting some pressure down onto Ludi, and he's going to be taken down to about 3 HP, sustaining for now. As the heals come out for those guys, the kills will follow. We will see Onigod fall as Craggy got a quick Earthshatter. They're just cleaning things up. It's just Lolzish trying to save the day, but there is no way, no how that this man pulls this off. He gets hooked out as well, and that will be those guys taking a quick 3-0 and me deleting a tweet.
I mean, oh man, who would have predicted them to just really come out so strong? It's yes, they are exceptional. Yes, they only lost 2 maps, but to win in such a fashion, such a dominating performance out of them, it's insane.
What to say, Brunch? This was very quick, to say the least. Those guys keeping up the tournament form from start to the end, and the Angry Titans just not showing up today.
It's just, again, a few questionable picks in terms of their composition as well. It looked like the tank comp is what they really expected here, those guys, and they really played well against, and they just fed into it.
I mean, they got completely outclassed, to say the least. That was really probably one of the fastest finals I've watched.
It was unfortunate, but still, congratulations to both teams. Even Angry Titans, even though you lost here, you did manage to finish in second. And overall, outside of this performance, out of this blunder, they did perform well.
Yeah, for me, Kib was the MVP of the finals. I mean, he had in these 3 maps a lot of great moves, which allowed his team to basically have such a dominant performance, I'd say.
Definitely agree that Junkrat being so menacing. I mean, how many double kills did he get off of the Riptire? Seemingly almost every time he pulled it out.
Yeah, and he always comes with the Riptire where he basically needs to be, and there is nothing much Angry Titans could have done, to be honest. Now, looking back at the tournament, are you surprised with the results?
Again, we expected the likes of Orglis and Hungry to really step up and show up big, which was not the case. CIS Hope coming really close to making it even further, only managing to get 4th, also be looking really good, but just some surprises. However, those guys winning it all in the end, not as surprising, I'd say.
Let's take a look who has actually won the giveaway that we've hosted few days ago. Those are our winners. I hope you guys will enjoy those codes. Now,
get those loot boxes.
Yeah, those loot boxes. I don't know. Before the tournament, I would have definitely placed Orgles and Hungry and CIS Hope at the top 3, basically. But as we've seen, that's not the case as Orgles and
Eagle
Hungry.
Gaming.
Yeah, and the Eagle Gaming also, they were looking really promising. But in the playoffs, other teams showed up, as we've seen, and that's it pretty much. We will start the North American region on the 12th of January. I hope you guys will tune in then.